Hi, welcome to Rebooted Mindset, formerly Rebooted the podcast. I'm your host, Alida Hernandez. Come join me every Wednesday and Sunday afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time to hear real-life conversations with experts around the world on how we can heal our body, mind, soul, and spirit. So let's get talking. Hey everybody, sorry for the delay today. We had I don't know, the internet's been really weird. I was home and the internet was so sluggish. I looked like I was going like at 5-second speed or something. Every time I would move, it would like delay and then come back. And so I don't want to have that problem today. So I want to make sure that you guys can hear me really good today and you can see our guest. So today's topic was from last week when we were talking about diet prison. So basically, diet prison is what most people have gone through in their life, where when they're trying to lose weight and they get on these fad diets that are out there, and they think like, okay, I'm gonna do this diet, the grapefruit diet. I'm only just gonna eat grapefruit, or I'm just gonna drink water and grapefruit, or whatever it is. And what happens is you just go into this unbelievable circle, right? And you're not healing yourself. So with our guests, we're going to talk about how you can go from diet prison to actually getting to fat loss. But it all has to do with your subconscious mind. So, and how do we reprogram ourselves again? So we're going to reboot ourselves, actually reboot mindset. So exactly what I've been doing for the last 7 years is just changing the way you think and have an open mind about health and wellness. That's what you need. Once you're willing to be open-minded and ready to receive information, you're good to go. Then you can start listening and learning from there and take baby steps. It doesn't happen overnight. Trust me, it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, it's taken me 3 years to lose like 65 pounds and keep it off. Okay, which is a good thing. And I don't really constantly weigh myself. It's just more how I feel. But anyway, let's go to our guest. Gus is waiting behind the scenes, and hopefully we have a great connection today. And we have some great guests today. I mean, great, how do you call it, viewers today. And if you have any questions, please put it in the comments. We're here to answer any questions you have. So just let us know. Hey, Gus, how you doing?
Hi, Alida. How are you?
Good. I can hear you good. So we're starting much better than we were last week.
I'm grateful for that. Wonderful.
So so we've been having this conversation now for a little while, and we've been discussing the difficulties that people have when it comes to losing weight, and basically you have come up with a mindful, right? Your healthy mind steps that you have in order for a person to be drug-free.
Right.
No operation. Okay.
Right.
Nothing radical. It's all about reprogramming that subconscious that we've been programmed as a little girl, or as a little boy, whatever, as a child, right? We've been programmed with foods and foods that we like because of what our parents gave us. I mean, it's all this programming, correct?
Correct. I mean, whether it's sometimes this positive reinforcement, just if you come from an Italian, go ahead, have another plate of pasta, eat a little more. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, they bring you more food. They bring you more food. Or on the other spectrum is, listen, eat everything on your plate. There's not enough. There's not enough food to go around in the world. There's starving kids in Africa, and that starts getting into your subconscious mind. People don't realize these things, and then they're told, okay, you had enough. That you can't have that slice of pizza. You can't have, that ice cream. You can't have this, and that starts registering, whether you like it or not. It registers. And then it goes into your hard drive, which is your subconscious mind. And then sooner or later, the dysfunction starts to show up. And then what people do is they enter diet prison, meaning that they yo-yo. They go in, they go out. They go in, they go out. And they can do this for decades. with with total frustration, feeling very vulnerable, and at the end of the day, they're poisoned because they've taken advice from this person, advice from that person.
Right.
This has worked for him, that has worked for the other person, hasn't worked for me. Whatever the case may be, there is a lot of information written at the
Right.
subconscious level.
Hey Gus, you're talking through the headset?
Yes.
Are you okay? Because it could be a little louder. I don't know how you can.
Oh,
uh,
I can.
Can you make
do
it louder
something.
on the speech? Is there a
How is that?
difference?
Is that
Let
better?
me see.
Can you hear better now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
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 All
So
right. Let
yeah,
me
so
put it
we've
up
been
a little
talking
more.
about those yo-yo diets that we do out there. We get those diets that our best friend, oh, I'm doing this new diet. So then you go as a guinea pig. Oh, well, will work for Melissa, so it should work for me, right? But everybody's different. Everybody eats different foods, so their structure is different. It's become different. Not that we're
Right.
not born different. We're born the same human
Right.
being with the same organs, everything inside. But what changes us is our chemical structure due to the fact of the foods that we've eaten or what our mothers have consumed while we were in the womb. So all these factors, and we don't even realize how important food is.
Well, no question about it. And we have our own individual biology. So what works for somebody else doesn't necessarily work for you. What somebody's allergic to something, you might not be allergic to, or you might be allergic to something else. Whatever the case is, you could have different reactions to food, and therefore you get different results. Now, when you're working with your own biology, okay, and you are rewriting the hard drive, then you're making progress. You can make progress at warp speed and not have all the frustration. This of working with your subconscious mind is not about having willpower to bend steel with your mind, but it's all about having will, because willpower runs out, you know. And that's what I've told my daughter. You're not going to make it with willpower. We're going to rewrite the program, and you're going to get the benefit, and you're going to finally get to the weight that you want to be. So she's my training partner right now. And, she's lost already 18 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So,
great.
and her body chemistry is changing. I'm going to show videos how she's progressing. Now, this time around, she won't gain the weight back. Why the difference is because there's been reprogramming. Once you're reprogrammed, you're okay. You can deal with circumstances. You know how they tell you, don't ever go to the supermarket if you're hungry, if you're
Yeah.
on any kind of diet. Don't you dare go into the supermarket if you're hungry, because you're really going to take an ass whipping with the foods you're going to buy. And the truth of the matter is, if you have done the work inside of you, the hard drive, the subconscious, you can go into the market, to the supermarket, starving, and you're still picking the right foods. That's the
Right.
difference between healing and not healing,
Exactly.
you know,
And I noticed
because,
that myself because when I go to the supermarket now, I could be hungry. And what I notice is I start scanning the supermarket, right? So when you go to any local supermarket, they put all the junk food at the
yeah,
register. The candy, the chips, the sodas, all the quick fixes, which is horrible for you. And if you're hungry and you're like standing in line, go, I'll just grab a chocolate bar. They don't even have healthy chocolate bar. Like today I bought a dark chocolate, no sugar, right? It had some stevia in it, 70% cocoa. Because I wanted a chocolate. So I bought 70% cocoa with stevia, had a little piece, kill my craving. I just need a little
right,
chocolate and it's fine. It's
right,
sweet. And but again, I remember going to the supermarket, right, hungry, and you start buying
right.
chips and cake and
No
like
question.
all these like comfort foods, as I call, right?
Right,
Things
right.
like that.
Well,
And
Of course, that's the programming that we have inside. That's what happened for us from the ages of 0 to 7, okay, where our minds were sponges, meaning that we just absorbed everything without filters. So the good, the bad, and the ugly came in, and it didn't matter what it was. And if it was good, great. But if it wasn't any good and it was bad, it was still installed inside of us. And
Yeah.
that's what's beating the daylights out of us later on in life. And that's what we have to correct if our goal is to have, anti-aging, to be fat free, to be healthy, to not be sick, to not run into, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, dementia, and all the illnesses that are caused. We can really avoid most, if not all of this, by taking on our own blueprint, with our own biology. And we don't have to, listening to one guru or another guru, because we have to become our own guru with reprogramming ourselves through our subconscious mind. And that's the help that we're here to provide, is to make sure that people can get on the right track and be healthy. Because what do we want to do? I know that you, as well as me, you want to be a burden to your kids. You have two sons. I have I have two daughters and one son, and I had them later in life. I mean, my two younger sisters are already grandmothers,
Oh.
and yeah, so they got kids that are from 28 to over 35, and here I am from 18 to not even 27 yet. So, having said that, I need to be able to keep myself healthy and well all the way to the finish line, meaning that I'm not going to be a burden. I can't have my back hurt, my hands arthritic, inflammation, my knees, my anything. I've done everything possible to reverse these things.
Correct, correct. And that's why that's why try to tell people that your body heals. So,
Absolutely.
your body does heal. I just want to say hi. Arlene is on. Thank Arlene. Hi. How you doing? Jose from Puerto Rico is here, and DJ Peter. Hey Peter, how you doing? So just want to say hi to some people out there. But your body heals. And I always tell people, I had this stroke almost, it'll be 7 years in January, everybody. And people look at me and like, oh, you have, what kind of stroke did you have? I had a stroke. It was, there's no candy coating it. It was scary. I had to do a lot of rehab. People don't realize it, but I've been working for 7 years of detoxing my body, trying to eat the correct foods, and I'm going to learn more stuff from you, Gus, because I'm going to go on the next phase, because there's so much emotional tied to food. So I want to mention that, because that's very important, that people understand that most of our issues, right, our issues with food and diet, our appearance is it's emotional. It's really,
It's very emotional. It's a lifestyle change, but the understanding is that stress is also what's killing us, because that's creating high cortisol levels. That raises insulin in the body, and we get messed up. That creates inflammation, and inflammation creates illness. But we can sidestep that. We can definitely sidestep all of that and still have the structure of a younger person, still have the organism of a younger person, still have your kidneys, your liver, your heart working optimally. If we follow somewhat our blueprint, we will end up passing away, but you will be fully active the day before, and you just go to bed and your soul moves to the next lifetime. You know, that's the way it needs to be, not the sick society that we have. It doesn't have to be like that at all, where we're sick for 20 or more years, sometimes waiting to slip on a banana peel.
Yeah, and I see it living here in South Florida. There's a lot of elderly communities, and the best example is my mother, who's going to be 86. My aunt just turned 84, and I take care of them. We live together, and they're amazing. They're still dancing salsa. They don't really have wrinkles. I mean, they're really maintaining, and they have their little things that we're going to work on, but in relatively, the doctor said they're in good health. Their hearts are very strong, so they could live to be 100 years old. So I got to make sure that I'm in good shape because I got to keep up with them.
Right, right. Well, yeah, my mother is going to be turning 91 next month,
Look at that.
and she's totally 100% independent. My father has passed, almost 13 years ago now. And the thing was that he did have unhealthy habits, and he did get to, 85, almost 86. But, he could have been 100 or 100 and change in good health. And he chose not to follow his blueprint, and then you pay the consequences. But still, under all those circumstances, he was still much better than most, considering that, having had 3 heart attacks and many strokes over the years, he actually fared pretty well.
Wow.
Now, I could have followed that blueprint, but I didn't, because my grandparents both died of heart disease. One died young, at like early 50s, the other one a little bit later, but nonetheless, and my father had heart disease too. But I decided that I wasn't going to do that blueprint. I was going to do the blueprint it's my God-given right to do that, that we have a way of healing, okay, but healing through our blueprint, which is our birthright.
Correct. And it's all, again, like you said, it's a blueprint. So what we're trying to do is help people out there. Gus has a program that can basically help you in this journey to understand foods better, understand yourself better, and what works for you and what doesn't. But it all, again, it has to do with reprogramming your subconscious mind so you can get unstuck, because some people are stuck with foods. Oh, I don't eat that. I don't eat vegetables. I can't eat vegetables. Why do you say you can't eat vegetables? Have you tried vegetables? Have you made them differently? I mean, there's so many things out there. When I first started to detox my body, and that's one thing we discussed, we were talking offline before, was once you start dieting, like you were saying, once you start doing some kind of regimen, and you start losing weight, right, you start losing toxins in your body. But now if you don't take care of yourself properly, those toxins are really just doing a circle like in your body. You have to release them out. They have to get out.
Yes. In the program, we will show how to do autophagy, so that you can regenerate. You're going to produce your own stem cells as your toxicity is leaving. Because right now, what's going on is people age, they're actually taking their old material, the toxic old material, and they're recreating cells from that. The way that we're going to do it is by promoting your own stem cells to regenerate. So the average person in America, because of the diet that they've been on, which is loaded with sugar, their biological age is way beyond the chronological age. And that's a problem.
I'm just checking our stream. JC was saying that you had a little bit of an echo.
I felt it.
Do you have are you hearing through the headphones, or are you hearing through a speaker?
No, I'm hearing through the headphones, but I could take that off.
No, but it should. I don't know why there's an echo because if you're hearing through here, you need to hear. So, JC, are
No,
we
I'm
still
here.
echoing? JC's online, so let me know, JC. Um, Worst comes to worst. Next episode, we're gonna have Gus come in here with me because I don't know what's going on. Because we can't do this
That's
again.
too funny. Right,
This is a very
right,
important episode. This is like so important. We're gonna do
right.
a couple episodes regarding because it's a lot of information for everybody.
There is.
But I just want everybody to understand there are ways to get through this weight loss journey. So
Yes.
it's not like a marathon. It's the first marathon you're running. No, we have to do it baby steps. And Gus, his program, he'll be able to, work with you and see how you're doing and give you suggestions and kind of guide you through the program. How long is the program if somebody wanted to get into the program to get through
It's
this?
12 weeks. 12 weeks. And just like anything else, people need coaching, especially when you're rewriting programs inside the subconscious mind. I mean, if you look at Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, they had coaching, okay, to become the best in the world. They had coaching, okay. Michael Jordan, okay, to become the best in the world, okay. He had coaching. There's no such thing as they didn't have coaching. Lionel Messi, the greatest soccer player in the world, okay, he has coaching. I mean, this is what you need reinforcement, true reinforcement. And this is way cheaper than if you're going to a personal trainer that's going to cost you $400 or $500 a month, and that you can revert back to the old ways and then gain all the way back. I see
Right.
people in the gym all the time that they take off a pound and a half and they gain 2.5 pounds. And it's just constantly, I see the same people looking the same way all the time. And I see the pain in their face because they're not working with their biology. They're not working. We have our unique fingerprint, and they're not doing that. And that is a big, big problem. That is a big problem.
So, JC was here. He dropped off. I thought he was going to join us for a second, but he disappeared. But yeah, again, and I remember, I remember going through these phases when I had. Oh, there's JC. Let's see. JC's going to try to connect. Let's have him welcome him in. Hey, JC.
Hey, what's going
Hi,
on?
Jason.
Hey, can you hear me good, Alida, without an echo?
I don't hear
Okay.
echo. I don't even hear Gus's echo.
You don't hear his echo?
No.
I hear it.
All right, let me turn the volume down. Gus, talk. Let's see if it's still
Yeah.
echoing.
Can you hear me?
Now, better.
Better?
Better.
Maybe it was
Better.
my mic. Maybe it was my thing. I lowered it here. It could have been
Exactly.
my stereo.
There you go. So
Technology
now,
is such a pain, guys. I'm
how you
telling
doing, Gus?
Doing well.
Oh, Gus, I can hear you clear now.
Yeah, I had to lower the speaker a little.
Yeah,
And I
that's what
moved
it
the
is.
mic- And I moved the mic.
Yes.
Good.
It's
Thank
better
you.
now?
Way better.
Okay, good. And Gus looks clearer too. So I think maybe the internet adjusted itself a little bit. For some reason,
Maybe.
6 o'clock was bad. It's just as bad as the traffic outside is on the internet too.
Exactly. That's too
So
funny.
JC, what do you think about all this? We've been talking about this and
Well,
I think you understand a little bit about the subconscious now.
actually, I haven't had the chance really to. I mean, I hear it a lot because you always tell me you and Gus discuss this about that. But like, I haven't really, got into it yet. But I will.
Well,
Everything in its due time, But
well,
this is
guess
why.
what? Since we're gonna do this, we're gonna get on the program. You have less body fat than me. Women have more body fat than men usually because just the way we're made. So we carry more body fat in our bodies. So our legs, our thighs, our butts, our breasts, there's just more body fat around. So it's always challenging when you if you're gonna work out like with your partner, So it'll be frustrating sometimes because the man will lose weight faster than the woman. Sometimes you'll see that, you know, like JC and I could be on the same diet, and he'll lose more weight than me for some reason. I don't
Or
know.
maintain, or
Well,
maintain, or maintain.
because he has more muscle mass, but and that is metabolic and that helps. So yes, exercise is necessary. I mean, from the time of the Stone Age, people had to move their bodies. People don't do that much today. They park very close to the store. Everything they
Now I hear
get,
the
and
echo.
handicapped spaces. Oh, am I blurry now?
No, I hear the
Should I
echo.
lower? Okay.
Let me see. I don't
Um,
know why. I have reduced background noise on there. I have echo canceling. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I could take the headset off if that helps.
I don't think.
The Yeah, but you're
I,
on your phone, JC, right?
yeah, I'm on my phone, and you don't hear no echo on me because
Yeah, maybe take the headset off and see what happens.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on with it
I'm
because
gonna
he's on
I'm
his
gonna shut this
phone, so
off.
it shouldn't do that.
Okay, is that better?
can you move forward? There you go. Un
Can you
poquito
hear
más
me?
cerquita. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to show the beauty, man.
You gotta show off
You know how they
the
say in Puerto
physique
Rico,
and
listen, that's funny. In Puerto Rico hay un dicho that they say, tiene un buen lejos. But then when they
Bien
get
buen-
closer, that's when,
un buen lejos.
It's true. It's true. It's like okay, yeah,
Hey, we
yeah,
can
no,
do
you gotta,
Spanglish.
you
Gus
gotta.
speaks Spanish also from
right.
Argentina.
Right.
And so we could do it in Spanish too, in English, and so people understand that if you want to get into the program, we will be having more conversations like this on the podcast, and so you can understand it more. But if you want to get into the program, just sign up. Oh, I'm echoing now. All right. So you can sign up for the program. You can send me a message here. You can send it on the comments or anything. Just let me know, and I'll send up a link. Also, I'll put in the Facebook and everything all on social media where you can sign up, and then we can start getting a list of people. We're going to be doing Zoom training for right now until we get a local place so we can do an event locally in South Florida. But at least through the internet, we're able to reach a lot more people and worldwide and everything like that.
Hey, honey, just curious. Can you lower on the mic? Can you on the Jetty? Can you lower the gain a little bit?
I don't know which way to go.
Lower the gain. Well, if you go left, it's lowering. If you go right, it's gonna get higher.
Okay, I lowered it now.
Yeah, yeah, because you
Is it
have a
better?
good you have a good voice that pitches.
Okay.
So you know that mic picks up very good. So
Okay.
anyway, I'm glad that Gus is bringing this out, and trust me, I mean, how more connected can I be to Gus, even if I'm not there in front of him, but through Alida I hear a lot. But you know, we just Alida and me, like we said, I don't want to say much, but we have some plans, and right now I'm considering this, even though I still meditate and I still, you know, keep spiritually, and like Alida said, I keep the same diet that she does. We eat almost the same things, and I'm maintaining my weight. I don't lose. I don't. You know, the only way that I lose is ya tu sabes, when I have to go to the bathroom. That's the only way. That's the only way
Well,
that I
that's
lose.
important too.
But then I gain the 2 or 3 pounds again, and then I, you know, it's just unbelievable, you know.
Right.
And
But
listen,
Right.
I gotta say this before I leave because I have some chores that Alita left me to do. So, but anyway, I want to leave it with this. People get disgusted by this, but people, check out your poop. All right. It's very important. I mean, you know, I used to be one of those too. I'm like, ugh. Check your poop. It says a lot about it. It says a lot. It says a lot about your health. You know.
Yeah.
You
Detoxification
know.
is absolutely needed. People are hormones are off, but I can show them the way to get that autophagy that they're going to anti-age, they're going to regenerate their cells, and a lot of this work is done through the subconscious mind, and they heal. I mean, just think about it. If you went to the doctor's office and said to the doctor, listen, I'm not doing badly. I'm actually okay. I'm doing, kind of well, but I want to get a lot healthier. The doctor doesn't have a clue of what to do with you because he's waiting for a sick person to come in. We live in a world of sick care and disease, and we don't
Do you
need
hear
to
my
go by
company?
that wayside. It's not necessary, but we do it to ourselves because we fall off the blueprint and we allow sugar, and sugar is the deadliest thing. It's worse than cocaine or crack, and over the long time it'll deteriorate your joints. It will give inflammation to the body. It can cause heart disease, cancer, diabetes, you name it, and it'll happen. The whole idea here is not just getting yourself lean, okay, which I'm looking myself. I know that by the beginning of January, I should be in single digit body fat levels without struggling, without straining, without anything. And you know what they say about having a six pack? Having a six pack today in America, just so that you know, today in America, there are more millionaires than men and women with six pack. That's what the deal really is. And now at my age, it's probably closer to billionaires. But it's all done and it's all possible and it can be done by whoever has will. You don't need willpower because willpower eventually runs out. You need reprogramming. And the reprogramming will take care of these injustices that we put from our unconscious mind inside the subconscious and have blindsided us, sabotages us, and prevents us from getting to where we want to go. You know, and
Right.
people have to ask themselves, how is it going lately? And if lately is the same old, then you have to say, okay, do I want to keep that route that is taking me to nowhere? Okay, like what Albert Einstein says, doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results is insanity. And the thing is that we use our conscious mind to deal with this huge issue. And the conscious mind can handle one or two items at a time. That's what the conscious can handle. Okay. But it's no match for the subconscious that's doing right now over 100,000 functions to keep your body running and in order. You'll be dead if you try that with your conscious mind. But we believe somehow that we're going to intellectualize this. We're going to outthink this problem, and it's never going to happen. You have got to use your hard drive. You are not going to out intellectualize this because I hate to say this, but we have primitive brains. And these primitive brains, there's passing thoughts that come in and out that say, oh, you got this problem, you got that problem, and takes you off balance all the time. I mean, I
Hey,
can tell
Mm.
you,
listen.
I could have gotten excited. I received something from the IRS Treasury Department. And without opening it, I could have looked at that and had 20 different thoughts in my mind, which would say, oh, I'm going to get an ass whipping here, whatever the hell it is. But you know what? If you're doing the work, you're going to say, what? You know what? I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, I'm going to be okay. I opened it up. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with putting you on a different health plan. And, you know, but, the thoughts are coming in. The thoughts are coming in. And where they're coming in from, whatever's happened to us in the past, that we're recreating here and now. And this is what people need to realize, that if we are going to be successful, we have to work with our subconscious mind, because we're not going to rewrite these things. We have to get rid of the old brain cell impressions, okay, that have created this crisis, and bring in the new brain cell impressions to take over the old brain cell impressions. The old brain cell impressions have to go. And if they don't go, eventually they're coming back and sabotaging you. Even if you've done well for 3 months, 6 months, a year, it doesn't matter. You lost all the weight. You see all of these people that are on television. They show all these movie stars, and they've lost all these weights. Then they got to lose them because they gained all the way back. They never worked with their subconscious mind. They worked with a physical program, and that's all it is. And there's a lot more to this than that. Yeah, we're working every angle, including making a nutritional supplement for weight loss right now. But if I don't have the hard drive right, I can get you to lose weight, but it's not staying off. And that's what we're talking about. We don't want to do this another 35 times because one, it's going to cost you a fortune. And two, it's going to give you heart problems, could bring in, all kinds of inflammation that could bring in all kinds of diseases. And that's what we want to avoid. We want to be on our God-given blueprint, which means that it's not our free will and free choice that gets in the way that ends up killing us, because the free will and free choice that we have is sabotaging us instead of getting into our God-given blueprint, which says this is your real last day of life. And it could very well be 110, 115 years, but it's not set by you. It's been set by the Creator. Big difference. But what happens is this. Hey, listen, you could end your life in no time. You get in front of a train, and that's the end of it, But having sugar all the time is just a slower process. You're just not making it to where you are going to go. And you probably will end up being a burden on your family if your family is even willing to take you on, like you do with your, aunt. You, the two of you, what you guys do is not common anymore. Okay, taking care of your families. In this woke society that we live in, it's kind of, hey, listen, maybe they will, maybe they don't, and you don't know. So who has to take care of themselves is you. But you have to be tooled up to the teeth to make sure that you got what you need and not been listening to a lot of propaganda that is ineffective, that has kept you where you are right now.
Right.
And that's what we try. That's what we're working to put an end to.
Right, because right now, when you look on, if you watch TV, you will see they came out with two drugs. Supposedly, the FDA approved it to lose weight. Now, come on, people. There's no quick fix. Okay, the quick fix is reprogramming the subconscious so you can learn how to eat properly and reprogram how you think about food. It's all about what you think about food. Food is a necessity for energy. We need energy in our bodies to be able to function, for our brains to function. You need oxygen, right? So we need all these different things in our body. But it's not a food obsession. The problem is that foods, all the chemicals they put in our foods and the preservatives have made it addicting. So like cheese is very addicting. Cheese has casein in it, right? And the cheese, JC is a cheese fiend. And I stop eating the cheese.
But I've been slowing down very much with it. I mean, I don't even eat it every day or anything like that. Before I used to eat every day for like.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Right.
I'm gonna.
You're
Gus is
gonna
still a
go?
little bit. Gus is still a little bit echoey. Try the headset again before I leave,
No, I think it's
because
good. I think it's good.
I can hear it.
Yeah, but it's better than it
You want me
was.
to lower? You want me to lower the volume a little bit?
Yeah,
Yes,
lower the volume just a
yes.
little.
You try
As
not
long
to
as you
hear
can still
yourself.
hear
Try
us.
not to hear yourself too much through the thing. Just enough.
That you can hear me. Yeah.
How is that? Is that better?
A little
Yeah, I don't.
better.
Say it
Or
again.
should I lower it a little more? I'll lower it a little
Say
more.
say
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
How about now?
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's good
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Now I
Okay.
can
It's
hear
So
all
that's
me.
the middle
adjusting.
range that I needed.
Yeah, what happens
Okay.
is the speaker
Okay.
volume echoes back into the phone and then it causes the feedback and
Right.
you
Right.
Anyway, I'll see the show later because I always see the shows
right.
after we do them. So
And we'll be
Um,
together tomorrow on Spanglish at 7 p.m. So,
that's right. I want you guys to put, I want you guys to take over the show, and
right.
let
Well,
me go, and I'm gonna start sharing with everybody right now. So you should get
all
some
right.
people coming in.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Thank
All
you.
right.
See
Bye.
you
Take
later,
care,
guys.
Stacy. Take care.
So, yeah.
But
So
I
we
mean, I
just did
think that
that for a
people
test.
don't want to continue to do this, Alida. I don't think that people want to do this 20 or 30 more times. I don't think they want to do it for decades. And I've gotten that through my daughter. She now understands, okay, if you don't reprogram yourself, you're going to have a problem. And I've put things together so she can. And she's getting better and better, more muscle, less fat. And this is what we need as we get older, because what's going to function in your body is the muscle, not the fat. The fat is dead weight. And as a matter of fact, it's more than dead weight. It's the weight that pushes the muscle down. And this is why older people have to take little steps, because they feel insecure. They don't have enough muscle strength to keep them up. And this is, when, there's nothing wrong with getting older. We're all getting older. But there is a problem with getting old. We don't want to get old. To the last day that I live on this planet, I don't want to get old. I understand that I got to get older. And eventually I got to slip on a banana peel too. But the idea is, okay, that I'm healthy, I'm strong, and I made the conscious decision that, okay, that's it. I'm leaving my lifespan the way that God said. This is your real final day. Not my free will and free choice has created the sabotage that is whipping me and that's destroying my physical body, the vehicle in which I came in here to live this life, to experience everything in life. That's what we have to respect,
Exactly.
this vehicle. And we can enjoy food. I enjoy food. I don't. I'm not depriving myself. I'm not asking anybody to deprive themselves. It creates the wrong kind of brain chemistry when you deprive. If you go and see on television a delicious pizza out there, and you're like suppressing and deciding, oh, I can't have this, but all of a sudden you're salivating, your brain chemistry is reacting in a way that it slows your metabolism, and you're actually absorbing your previous meal into fat. People don't understand that this is what's actually happening. So if
Wow.
they can't reprogram themselves, most of the time they're slowing their own metabolism. And some of the reasons why some of these diets that are 500, 1,200 calories don't work, you know.
No, and then people are starving, and then they're frustrated, and they're cranky, and they're like, how, well, I can't do this. They already put mental blocks on it because it's so restrictive. I
Right.
remember years ago, I've done several different yo-yo diets. And I remember, say, after having both my kids, right? It was the hardest to lose the weight after giving birth to two children
Sure.
and gaining weight during pregnancy. And then I had gestational diabetes at the time when I was pregnant. So, and I didn't understand. The doctor said to me, you're predisposed already that you're pre-diabetic. So that was a sign when you're pregnant and you get gestational diabetes, is a sign that you're going to become diabetic unless you do something about it. So you're
Right.
young, you're in your 30s, you're like, I'm okay, it's okay. I can still eat my pizza and my hamburgers with the bacon and all this other stuff and this fat and, eat whenever I want, drink whatever I want, because you're young and you don't realize it. And when you're young, your metabolism is faster. But
Sure,
as
of
you
course.
constantly put in all the junk, you know, especially, I mean, I think my worst thing was sugar. Okay. I think
Hmm.
a lot of
I
people
think
are
that's
addicted to
everybody's.
sugar. And I know a lot of people out there that are addicted to sugar. And they think that because, well, I'm pre diabetic, so I'm taking medicine. So it's okay. I can still eat whatever you want.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't work that way. The medication the doctors give you is a band aid. That's all it is.
of
It's a little
course.
band aid. Una curita, right? So you have like,
Right.
you cut yourself, you have a little blood, you put the band aid, it stops bleeding, right? But it's still there. So it's the same
Right.
premise. They give you this medication. No, take this pill, take the cholesterol pill. No, 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 no. Try to, from my opinion, and I know Gus, you feel the same way. Less is better. Less
Hmm.
medication because that causes other problems. There's a lot
Correct.
of people. For example, elderly, like I said, my aunt and my mother in their 80s. So I take them to the doctor, and I see other patients when I go to the doctor, and some of them are younger than my mother and my aunt, and they look so old. They look very old because of their diets. Plus, they're taking 20 different pills. You have to take one pill to counteract the other pill to counteract the other pill, and then all those pills together. What's the contradiction with them? That's the other problem too.
Right.
And now that what I was saying before, they came out with 2 injections now for losing weight. Guys, please, everybody out there, men, women, just please don't go on medication to lose weight. There's no quick fix. The quick fix is reprogramming the subconscious mind to learn how to, oh, we lost Gus for a second there. There he is. To reprogram your mind so you know to eat correctly and eat because you need to refuel yourself, right? You need to nourish yourself. Right. It's not about gorging on food. Thinking about, I've seen like the 600-Pound Life. Have you seen that show?
The what?
There's a show called the 600-Pound Life.
600-Pound Life?
You never seen it?
No, but I remember The Biggest Loser.
Well, this program, they had it on TV for a while. It was people that were 600 pounds and above. Oof. Okay? And they're going through this doctor that's going to do the stomach surgery. Okay? Which is really sad. The bariatric surgery. And the doctor tells them,
it's still a significant amount of people gain the weight back even after the surgery. They eventually, because the subconscious mind has never been worked on. If you don't work on your hard drive, you're just going to be, a smaller version of your old self. And then eventually, as the years go by,
you start
more than likely, and the overwhelming majority will gain the weight back. So if you're not willing to work on the subconscious mind, your hard drive, which is doing all of the functions right now, whether you know them or not, you're going to struggle. I mean, is it impossible? No, it isn't impossible. But the percentage of people that succeed with that is very small.
And for everybody out there, it's something, again, I always say when you watch my show, you have to have an open mind to learn new things to help you in your life. Okay? And I know it's very difficult out there for people to not listen to the doctors. Sometimes people listen to the doctors more than they even listen to coaches themselves. And people that are family that have gone through things. And I tell people, my body has been healing in the last 7 years. Okay. But before, when my diabetes was out of control, I had diabetic eyes, which means that the blood vessels in your eyes start swelling and they can pop and you can lose your vision because the diabetes inflames the nerves in your eyes and it inflames nerves in your body and it does all these things. So I went to the eye doctor probably a year after I had the stroke, and he said, your eyes are perfectly healed, no diabetic eye, all the veins, all the veins in my eyes have already swelled, they've gone down, and I have no problems. So this is all reversible. There's so much things that can be reversed. So acupuncture, Chinese herbs, natural stuff.
Yes. And the way that I'm producing the product is very natural. It will help accelerate because it does give a kick in the mind if you can deplete more body fat more rapidly. That's understandable. But you still have to fix the main problem, which is, again, the hard drive. Now, you still have to detox. There's things that have to be done. I was asked by a doctor that had a pharmaceutical company to help with, because they were the largest providers to medical doctors of HCG, the drug. I was asked, he told me, HCG, this thing works great on the first round. People can lose 30, even 40 pounds in a month. But what happened with that is that they were still overfed and undernourished, and they still had a lot of toxicity. So the drug was able to force some of the weight out. Okay. Then in the resting period, they ran into some issues. And then when they tried the second round, they couldn't lose anything. And there was a huge dropout of people. And the reason why is because if the body is that out of balance and that out of equilibrium, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. That body fat loss is not sustainable. And when you're losing that rapidly, you also risk losing muscle mass, which is the muscle that preserves, that moves your joints, that moves everything, to have life.
Right.
But this is very doable. I mean, I've put these things into practice in Spark of Hope, a drug rehab, where you're helping people get off of opioids, cocaine, crack, alcoholism, and you could do it again through the subconscious mind. And these principles are going to be used to be able to help people heal from food addictions and
Correct.
not have the issues that they have, which we discussed in the past, is having been a nutritional manufacturer, okay, for many, many years. I know how this works, and the food companies are there to addict you to their foods. So this is a major, major issue in America. Chemists get paid on resale, on whether they can influence you through your taste buds, through your addiction, to stay with them over somebody else. So they're competing for your addiction. And this is
Right.
what we're here to break that.
And they put so when you go to the store, I know already because I've been doing it for years. I read labels. Like I
Of
read
course.
food labels. And most people just pick stuff off the shelf. They're just used to whatever. But I go like even like I have a yogurt. So I read, does it have extra sugar? Does it have, like see, I don't want anything that has artificial flavoring because what they do
Correct.
is I saw one of those programs on TV how things are made.
Yeah.
It's a show called How Things Are Made, and they showed manufacturing companies and how they come up with the flavors. There's somebody, a chemist in the
Of course.
in a chem right in a lab, and they're taking. Oh, I think that tastes like bacon. Let's make it a little like they make the flavors
Of course.
of
Of course.
each
These are
each
flavor
thing.
specialists.
Flavor specialists, and they're all chemicals, people. This is
Of
all
course.
toxins and chemicals to make you.
And the thing
This
is
tastes
this,
good.
that they're huge endocrine disturbers. Okay, artificial. Whether you take, and you can go to every restaurant and you're going to find the artificial sugars in there. Okay, those are endocrine disturbances. And what is that going to do? That's going to make you sick over time. Well, it didn't show up right away. I've been doing it for years, and then all of a sudden you come with, hey, listen, I've got terrible case of arthritis. I now have diabetes. I now have dementia. I now have, brain fog. I now have fibromyalgia. I have now migraines. You don't know where it came from, but it came from somewhere. We can live pretty cleanly. My boxing coach, because I used to be a competitive fighter as a kid, my boxing coach lived to 102 years of age and
Wow,
taught till 99.
that's
Meaning, what did that
awesome.
mean? That means that his physical body was very strong even at this late stage. Just that he got 102, everybody died off. He decided, okay, I've done my life, I'm done. So he was able to live out his blueprint. Most of us will never do that. The majority will end up not dying of natural causes. They're going to end up with illness. And that's
Yep.
not necessary. And I don't care if you're getting older. That is not necessary because, yes, they do say that, the older you get, the more susceptible you are to disease. And that's the way you're going to come down. And that is the normal, medical diagnosis. But, we can put an end to that. We don't want to follow that blueprint. That's not our
No.
blueprint.
No, no, we don't want our children and their children.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the whole thing is learning. I mean, my kids have learned by seeing my change and my losing weight. I have one, they both go to the gym. One eats healthier than the other one. So, but they're learning. They're learning their way. They're still young to understand the mechanics of food and the necessity that you need to survive, right? Because we eat
Correct.
instead of eating for survival, people just eat, oh, I'm hungry, but you have to train your body as well, because I remember I would be hungry all day, and you just constantly, grabbing something to eat, and you're constantly eating something bad, especially if you work in an office. I remember working in corporate America, right? So in the kitchen, every morning somebody brought bagels and donuts and all this cake, and they bake stuff, and you're like, oh my god. And you would get all that food, and then what happens, like in the afternoon, people go out to lunch, and then about 2:30 everybody's like falling asleep.
Of course.
Everybody's nodding out because of all the sugar and all the carbs that turned into sugar, right, that they ate during lunch, and now you're coming down from all that. So then now they go for the coffee, because now you're falling asleep. So now you go drink like 4 cups of coffee with sugar.
Sure. No,
I used to drink coffee all day when I worked in the office.
Either, to allow their bodies to recover. You know, your body start recovering when you're not digesting as much food. But in any case, if people start rewriting the programs in their subconscious mind, and I'm not going to tell you that it's easy, but we know what needs to be done. I'm doing it right now with my daughter, my youngest daughter, because I know that she wants to lose the weight, and she needs to lose a little bit of breast size. She's a big, girl there, and I certainly don't want her to have to do a breast reduction surgery at 18 years of age. So if I can just get her to like a D, that would be good. She's a triple D. That's very large. It's a lot of weight on your back. Eventually it will cause back problems and things like that. So she's gotten in tune. She knows it's the subconscious, and now she is 18 pounds off. And I can assure you that when I weigh her in next week, she'll have probably another 6 or 7 pounds off.
That's good. I know. I see the difference in you. And you said you've been working on that. You've been leaner. You lost some weight. You've lost
I could put some pictures up when I came from Colombia, and I look completely different because I'm regenerating. The autophagy is working. So I'm getting rid of the toxicity that I had in my system and creating actually new stem cells that are much more youthful, instead of recreating from the toxins, because that's what people are doing. They're recreating their bodies from the toxins. So what can you expect when you recreate from the toxins? You can expect to go to a lower level, and then a lower level. Every time you recreate, you're recreating lower. Instead of let's go upregulate. Let's let our biological age be a lot lower than our chronological age. The idea is, okay, if you're 50 years old, chronologically, but you're biologically 30 years old, you're way ahead of the game. And that's the idea of, putting this program together, is to regain health and not to be a burden on our children. For the love of God, I don't want to be a burden on my children. I mean, they have to take care of their own families. I'm not going to have them take care of me. This is not the way to go. This is, for me, it's a selfish thing that I didn't take care of myself. And, and now I'm in, their hands. They got families. They got things to deal with. They have work. They're busy and this and that. And now I'm a burden to them. That's not happening.
Yeah. And society, it's harder. Like you said, it's not the norm anymore. When I was little, it was the norm where people took care of their families. We've always taken care of my family. My grandmother lived with us here in Boca until she passed in 2006. And my uncle was at the home. Unfortunately he died of cancer. I wish I knew what I know now, because I know I could have helped my uncle, years ago, but didn't know none of these things. And unfortunately, we relied on just doctors. And not to say anything, doctors are good. If you have an emergency, you need open heart surgery, something's going on. That's where you go to the emergency room. Okay. And I go to the doctor to get a blood checkup and just see my blood is good. But after that, I'm good now. I don't even have health insurance, because I'm not on medication. I've stopped all my medication for diabetes. So it's taken me 7 years. I'm done,
Yeah.
and it's just, You know, I'm changing that programming in my body. And especially, like I
Correct.
said to you, doing the detox. And we talked about this too. There are ways that you can reset your body. You know, intermittent
Mhm.
fasting is very good. So there's a lot of different things that you can add to what Gus is talking about, you know, that will help you. And the detox is important because, for example, when I had the stroke, it was due to high blood pressure that had gone up and my sugar had gone up, which is saying in my body I had too many carbs, too many sugars in my body because I used to be drinking alcohol. I was drinking wine, forget it, red wine, sugar through the roof. Okay. I used to eat a lot of steak. I don't eat beef anymore. I know, Gus, you're Argentinian, you like your meat,
Mhm.
but everything's good in moderation. So it's,
Right.
you know, some people want to go to the extreme of vegan, but there's a way you can eat healthy even if you have meat.
Well, the whole thing is this: when I have, computerized biofeedback, which by the FDA, it's not a diagnostic tool, but it's a way of observing what's going on inside of your system. It reads out a lot of things that are going on inside of your system. And from there, you can create the game plan that an individual needs, outside of using, metaphysics and that kind of intelligence, divine intelligence, to help others, which is also what I do. The idea is to be able to connect. Okay, this is good for you. This food right here is creating a lot more metabolism and fat burning than this food over here that is actually doing the opposite. So we rate the foods from 0 to 100, and anything that's below 50 is a detriment. Okay, granted, if it's a 45, it's not so bad, but if it's a 15, we know that that's probably not something that we want to consume, and certainly not on a regular basis. But on the other side, if that food is above 50 and you got something that's like an 85, you're saying, wow, this is, creating that new cells, detoxifying and creating the cells that I need. So the idea is to put people into a program where they're working at their cellular level with their biology and not against it. It's very involved. It's not going to tell you that it's easy or that it's hard, but you have to have some will. You don't need willpower. Willpower runs out. I don't care how powerful you are. I've seen people lose well over 100 pounds, and then the next year I've seen their weight come back. So you
Yeah.
can't say that these people did not have willpower. If you go take a look at the Biggest Loser TV show that I'm sure a lot of you have watched, you'll see that people really went at it and lost a lot of weight. They were showing on the scale a ton of weight every week. The problem is this: they never worked on their subconscious, they never worked on their hard drive. What happened? They could never have a Biggest Loser reunion. Why couldn't they have a Biggest Loser reunion? Because most of those people gained their weight and then some above that. So that's what happens. You can't have reunions when you have that going on. It doesn't matter that you had good personal trainers and stuff like that. They never worked on new brain
Right.
cell impressions. They were always operating with the old brain cell impressions, and that's a dead end.
Yeah, it is a dead end because you can't think the same way. You just can't. I mean, I know myself, I'm going to work with you and do the reprogramming because I still have things I have to work on and I want to start losing the fat. I can see it in my arms. I have to develop more muscle. And later on, I'm going to put a commercial towards the end because we'll be closing out soon. But I'll be putting a commercial to help you with muscles too. I have Andrea who has the Max Pack, and she has a great product that you can do home because some people don't want to go to the gym. People, they're embarrassed to go to the gym, especially when you're overweight. You feel very uncomfortable. That's one thing I always had a hard time with the gym itself because I find it so um it's intimidating for a person who's overweight and you go to the gym and you're trying to do your thing and people are watching and then you see people that look like models, right? And they're like, why are they in the
Yes.
gym? You're like,
Right, right.
why?
Yeah,
You know,
it can be like that. It can be like that.
because again,
But
it's the subconscious, is what you're thinking about. The, you know, it it's complicated. It is complicated because you're breaking a cycle. So like I'm 58, you're in your early 60s, you know. So we're both, I mean, you know, I mean, we're looking pretty good for our age. We're not, I don't feel my age, the number. You know, there's
No.
some days I wake up and I'm like, ah, you know, but most of the time I still have my heart, my spirit. I'm still young. I still have a lot of life to go. And I
Oh
made it
yeah,
a fact.
I feel that I easily have another 40 years left. And
Exactly.
I continue to work on my structure so that it's easy to flow, my knees. You can get up a lot easier when you've burned off a lot of fat and you get off the floor like it's nothing. Or you can struggle. People in the gym, they sit down, they try to do an exercise, and now their knees can't support them and they can't get up. And this is what's
Right.
happening with a lot of overweight people. Their ankles, they're starting to find out their ankles are not supporting them well. Their knees are not supporting them well. Their hips are not supporting them well. So, how is that the way that you want your downslide to be? I want to be able to do whatever it is that any person that's 30 years old, and I do it. So there's not an issue with that.
Exactly, exactly. Because I'll tell you right now, when I lost what? Lost about 65 pounds, 70 pounds over the last couple of years, the last 3 years. Um, this past year, I was working out really hard. I was walking every single day in the heat, and I had lost the body fat. Then I went through a little hiccup and stopped working out, and I started just emotionally, right? I was going through something and I started making chocolate chip cookies. Oh, no. And it's something about it's again, you're going through something. What is it about not just sugar, but something indulging, right? That does to your brain. When you eat something, it does the endorphins go off and all
Well,
this
yeah, you're feeling
serotonin and all these things are going on. The pleasure centers come on your
correct.
brain,
Correct.
and you're like, oh, this is so good. And then after you eat it, I know for myself, I'll see something, I'm like, oh, I could go for that. Like I love pizza. I used to love pizza.
Oh, yeah, I love pizza
So
too.
the other day I was craving a piece of pizza and I got one slice and I literally took a bite out of it and I go, why did I want this? Like I literally took a piece of it and it wasn't the same anymore. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I just couldn't, I ate it, but it wasn't enjoyable. Like
Right.
it, and then it bothered my stomach because of the cheese and the dough and all this other stuff. So I'm like, forget it. But it takes time to get to that point.
Yeah, I mean, there's conditioning, and you really, at the end of the day, I keep saying you got to recondition your hard drive, which is running all the programs. It's running the programs from your conscious mind, and it's also running your program from your unconscious mind. And that's certainly the ones that you don't want to show up, the ones from the unconscious that are undoing the programs that are, with the conscious mind. You come into this with your conscious mind saying, you know what, I'm doing it this time. It's going to happen. Things are going to be great. I will drop all the excess body fat. I'm going to look the best I ever looked. And
Right.
then the unconscious mind, which is buried now inside of the subconscious, says, you know what? This poor schmuck doesn't know what he's talking about. He's going to get an ass whipping from hell, and he's going to gain whatever pounds he lost back. And that's really what happens. I mean, in crude terms, that's what happens. The unconscious has already been deep into the subconscious mind, and the conscious is just saying, okay, I want to see this, I want to see this. It's the intellect, and the intellect will never override this because we have a primitive brain. We have to let spirit take care of this, and spirit's going to take care of it by helping us rewrite the hard drive. And that's
Correct.
how we become easy. Otherwise it's a struggle, and it will always be a struggle. And who wants to struggle? I want to be in single digit body fat levels without struggling. Not too
Yes.
low because it can hurt your hormones. But if I'm somewhere between 9 and 12% body fat, I'm thrilled. I've got a good six pack. I have a six pack now, but there is a layer of fat over it. But I could see it's coming through. It's a matter of end of this month, and I will be sharp. It's not that difficult. We make it a lot more difficult. And yes, when you're working with your unconscious mind that's inside of the subconscious, it's a nightmare. It's not just easy. It's not just hard. It's a nightmare. And that's
Yep.
why this thing happens to us again.
Correct. So I'm gonna put
Okay.
here, I just put on the display, here's my email, info@rebootedthepodcast.com. So anybody interested in learning more about the program, we will be talking about this for a little while. We're gonna probably do a couple more episodes and just deep dive into it. I know it might be a little bit confusing. You're like, what is this program? The whole thing is reprogramming your subconscious mind in order for you to have your ultimate health in your life and lose the body fat and lose that extra fat that you don't need on your body. And in turn, it's going to help you with the anti-aging in your body. I mean, I feel like sometimes I'm amazed. I look in the mirror and honestly, I mean, after what I've gone through in my life, just, different things in my life that I don't look, my face doesn't look like I'm toxic anymore. I have pictures of
Right.
myself 7 years ago. And if you really look at yourself, right? If I look at myself, I can see the difference. And I know for a fact that I feel different now because
Sure.
before I could feel just not right. Like your body's heavy, your brain fog, you got this heaviness in your and then your stomach. I've always suffered with my stomach because of certain foods. Like I cannot eat fried food. If I eat something fried, I have to do it at home. I cannot go outside and to go eat. If I eat a fried chicken outside, I'm gonna be sick. Like I won't even leave the restaurant because my body just it can't handle that anymore. I just can't. It's like if my body knows, what are you doing? You're putting oil in there, out it goes. It's like my body lately, sometimes I get literally physically ill in my stomach that it will come up. Like I'll eat something outside, and if it's not agreeing with me, it's like my body rejects it. It's the weirdest thing now. So I don't know if that's just my form of my body saying, nope, don't eat that.
Well, that's it. That's it. Your awareness is going up. And that's what we need to do. Now, listen, there's a ton of delicious foods that we can eat. So it's not about deprivation, because
No,
deprivation never works. It never
no,
has and it never will. But yes, rewriting a program is important so that we don't feel deprivation. If somebody's eating a
exactly.
pizza, we don't salivate. We're okay. Let them eat a pizza. And maybe we make the pizza a little different and we eat it, and so forth and so on. This is not about deprivation. Deprivation has never worked and never will work.
No.
But it is about a lifestyle change. It's about a commitment to your life and to following your blueprint and to follow your biology, which is different than somebody else's biology.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's just learning. Like again, it's a learning curve. It's, you take baby steps. Gus is here. He's a great coach. He'll be able to coach you through this and really have you gain control of your physical health. Okay. And because you can do all the exercise in the world, but if you don't get rid of that extra fat that you have on your body, you can't move. Like I had extra
No.
weight. I was saying when I lost the weight, I used to have knee problems. I had what do they call it? A Baker's cyst behind my knee. It's like a little cyst full of water, and it has to do with the pressure you're putting on your knees, right? The pressure you're putting on your knees hold your whole body, your legs. You're standing all day long, and from the extra weight, I was having issues, and I didn't know. And now my Baker's cyst is gone. I can walk better. My knees don't hurt. I mean, inflammation has gone down. That was a big thing. Before I felt like I was swollen. Like, you know what I mean? Like the inflammation,
Right.
you could feel
Right.
inflammation in your bones and your knees. And you was like always like I was in pain, physical pain. And didn't know how am I going to do exercise, just one day at a time. After the stroke, I wasn't able to go from a standing position to a on the floor position. It took me a long
Right.
time because I couldn't maneuver, and I still have some little issues here and there, but I work on it. So the other day I was talking to Gus on the phone and I was doing squats while I was talking to him. I said, let me keep moving. So I was doing some squats trying to get my knee because my knee was bothering me and I got the position. So, I mean, there's so many things you can do. Standing, sitting, Like I said, I'm going to show the commercial for my friend Andrea has the Max Pack, which is incredible. It's a weight that has sand in it, so it molds. So the minute you pick up the Max Pack, it's already engaging your muscles. So it's something good that you can use at home, and you can build strength with it. She has an 8-pound one. This is a small one. And you start working. And then I have my other trainer that I had, Becca, she had the bands. She had the bands, and she had the bands for the legs, which are great too. Anything that you're moving, right? It's just move. You got to move those muscles. You got to stay active. Take walks. My mother walks every day around the cul-de-sac. It's beautiful outside. Okay, for those who live in South Florida, it's beautiful. Everywhere else is cold. So if you look at the map, we're the only place that's
Yeah,
nice.
you can go out, get outside and get with nature. It's important.
Yes.
And I'll say one last thing before we leave. Okay, you also have brain chemistry to the exercises that you do. You know, at one time, when I was a kid, I was ripped to shreds. I didn't have an ounce of fat, and I jumped rope for boxing. But what I found is that as I got older, much older, and I jumped rope, and I said, well, this thing works so well when I was to keep me so fit when I was a kid. Okay. But what I found is that my brain chemistry was working against that. The minute your brain chemistry starts working against that exercise, you're doomed. Okay. So then I had to say, okay, you know what? I enjoy riding the bicycle. I could do some sprints. And that's how I burned off fat like this. Boom, boom, boom. Because I'm working with my brain chemistry and not against my brain chemistry. And I see this all the time in the gym. You see the pain in people's faces. Somebody told them that they had to be there, and here they are. They're working, and they're doing this, you know.
And they don't even know what they're
But you
doing.
can see the unhappiness in their face. So if you're not doing stuff that you actually enjoy, you're not going to get there. It's just the way it is.
Exactly. And that's why there's so many different exercises out there. Yoga is great. Yoga actually works your muscles. I try to do some yoga moves on home. I can't even do them now. I used to do yoga. Wow. I was in my late 20s, and I was doing yoga, and I would do the ropes and do the headstands and all the move. I could do all the contact, you go all over the place, right? And now I have to work at it. But is it doable? Yes. The like I say, Chinese medicine has been around for 5,000 years.
Yeah, 5,000,
okay?
6,000 years.
So they're doing something right. Don't
course.
just put it aside, because it's a different kind of medicine. They use natural herbs. They use all the roots. Every plant that you see is medicine. There's all the natural stuff that grow. There's so much medicine that comes from plants, and what they do is. What I talked to my acupuncturist, she's from China, and she told me everything they use, every part of like a fruit or a root or something, every part is important.
Right.
So, for example, when you have a watermelon, this is like really, really important for women. So watermelon is sweet, right? It has natural sugar, the red part of the watermelon. But if you cut a piece of watermelon and take the rind, the white part of the watermelon that's right after the red, and even the skin, and you put that in the smoothie, juicer, and you juice everything, the rind and the skin, and you drink it. My acupuncturist told me, take a piece of watermelon with the rind, put it in the blender, just zap it and drink it. And that helps you with UTIs. Any type of infection, bladder infection, anything you have going on there, because when you drink the watermelon, the white part of the watermelon has chemicals in it that heal the bladder and the bacteria that you have in there. So I used to get UTIs before when I was really uncontrolled with the diabetes. And she told me this, in a matter of 2 days, I was fine. Yeah. Meanwhile, you go to the doctor, they gave you a 5-pack of antibiotics, and now it screws up your stomach, and you get probiotics, and then it's a lovely cycle.
Yeah, it's killing a lot of stuff. So, I mean, doctors today, unless you're going for surgeries and things like that need immediate attention, okay, we're still living in a great country where that's happening. But other than that, you're dealing mainly, the medical doctors of today are symptomologists. what they do is you give them a symptom and they give you a drug. That all that means is that symptom is downregulated. But then if you hear carefully, the commercials is, how could anything be healthy for you, even if it's suppressing something down that you needed to suppress down, if then they give you a row of side effects? That's not something that is created by nature, where nature heals itself and it doesn't have these side effects. Meaning, okay, you could be depressed, you could be suicidal, you could, have this, you might have some bleeding, but it's going to fix that. It doesn't add up. It doesn't, it doesn't, if you really carefully and think about it, it doesn't, the stink test is, it doesn't
make
pass
sense.
the stink test.
Yeah,
The
it doesn't. The stink test
does not pass
Well,
the
I mean, you
stink
hear it
test.
on the commercials. Everybody hears the commercials. This new drug, blah blah blah, and that keeps talking about the drug, and then it says, oh, and the side effects are, it could cause cancer, it can cause this. You might bleed through your stomach. You might have an ear. I don't know. It has all these weird stuff. And my thing is, if it has a side effect, I'm not gonna take it. Why am I gonna take it?
Yes.
Some of the diabetes medicine I was taking says may cause thyroid cancer. So why are you giving me this?
Right. But this is the society that we live in. We have to break out of the norm. The norm is not normal. That's the problem. So
no.
But
and we have to go back to our roots. So I don't know how people are, but if you go back like grandparents, okay, because we're in like grandparents, unfortunately, not everybody had the opportunity to be with their grandparents. I did on both sides, which I'm very grateful for that. And my grandparents were both from Puerto Rico. When I would go to Puerto Rico, if you had something wrong with you, she'd be like, hold on, un momento, I'll be right back. She'd go to the garden and she grab some kind of herb and she come in there and she boil it or chop it up. Toma, eat, drink this. But my grandma, no, drink it. I mean, we used to drink, she used to give me cod liver oil. Remember cod liver oil? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever got it, but my grandma used to give me a spoon every day. I was like, oh, God. It's terrible, right. But it was the omega-3s, right? She was giving you omega-3s because we didn't have it, so she was giving you that, and she was doing that, or we would do un ponche, which would be like pure grape juice, but back when Wells used to make grape juice, right? And now it's, I don't know what it is, and she would put an egg in it and put it in the blender, and you had it. It was grape juice with a whole egg in it in the morning, with like a shot. She would do so you would drink the egg. That's why she used the grape juice. But she would do different things. But we were having eggs. They just came out of the chicken. I would go get them from the chicken. So they couldn't be any fresher. So, and things were organic. Now the phrase is organic. But before, and even now when you go to Puerto Rico, if you go to a farm in the country, everything is organic because everything's grown right there. Right. So... Anyway, little tidbits to everybody. I appreciate we've been on for an hour and 22 minutes, and we got still people watching there. I see Waleska's on. Thank you, Waleska, for showing up. Juan Ortiz, thank you for being here, and everybody else that's here. And thanks for Gus to having this conversation. I know it was a deep conversation. We will continue it, and we'll do several different podcasts, discuss about it. And please sign up. Again, I'm going to put the email here again. So here's my email, info@rebootedthepodcast.com. Please send me an email there, and we can start compiling people who are interested in this virtual. And what we'll probably do is we're going to set up a virtual, we'll do a virtual, like an intro. Maybe we'll do that, Gus. We'll talk about that. Sure. We'll do a little virtual, and I will set up an event so people can join it around the world, and we'll do some virtual, coaching to get into this program so people understand a little more like what it entails and what you have to do and things like that, so it's not scary for you guys. Right. And then we'll start scheduling the classes probably in January after the holidays, because everybody, hey, you know how it is, everybody. It's New Year, right? What do people do? They constantly, my New Year's resolution, I'm going to lose 30 pounds this year. I'm going to do it this year. Every year we start the year the same way.
Well, that's
So
it. This is what happens is that New Year's resolutions don't work. But when you have the will to change your hard drive, your New Year's resolution will work. And because
exactly.
you're going to be working with yourself, you're going to be working with your inner self, you're going to take things outside of the subconscious, inside of the subconscious, that are your blind spot, the things that are keeping you from being able to get to where you want to go.
Exactly. Exactly. So, so thank you so much, Gus. I'm gonna
Okay,
close up the
thank you,
show,
Alida.
and
Appreciate it. Thank
oh
you for
yeah,
having me.
I appreciate you, and I mean this is great information. Of course, I'm gonna get into the program myself to reprogram my subconscious mind. I've been working on that for a while, and it takes time. And let's make 2024 the year for you. Okay, so remember, the most important person in your life is yourself.
You.
If you
No
don't
question.
have health, you can't help anybody else. If you don't have health, you can't even help yourself. So
Yeah.
we want to be healthy, walking, that our knees are good, that we're able to do exercise, keep walking until our 80s or 90s. There's nothing
Or
is
even past
impossible.
100. It's very
You
easy to live
can.
past 100. Your blueprint is probably says you're going to live above 100 years of age, but we just don't make it there. But
Right.
it's our own free will and free choice through sabotaging of the unconscious that's created that environment where we can't get there. But we can certainly renew our bodies, and
And
we can
it does,
definitely
and it
renew our
renews because I
minds.
mean, my face is clearer.
Mhm.
I also use, of course, I tell everybody always go. I have a 30-day free session with Scalar Light. This is a whole nother thing too that you can
Right.
add. Hey, anything that's healthy and is good, you try it. Have an open mind. There's no fear here. Freescalarlight.net. You can read about this. It's a scalar energy because we are energy. So this
Real
gives you a
energy.
little aided, it gives you an aided energy through this tool that Tom Palladino created for scalar light. It has a Tesla coil and an actual device that harnesses the universe and the energy from God. And I know it seems crazy to even say that, but it's unbelievable. You can't, how do you call it? There's some things you can't explain, right?
Mhm.
Like you can't explain God. For all those who have faith and believe in a higher power, something has to be bigger than us. There's
Correct.
energy from the sun, there's energy from the moon, there's energy from all around us. Plants are alive, trees are alive. I'm a tree hugger. So I talk
Yes,
to my
me.
plants and my trees, and you know what? I got herbs growing. Sometimes they're not happy, and I go, "What happened?" And I talk to my plants. I give them fertilizer. The next day, they're all bright. So they
Yeah, because
pick up on
everything
your
is energy.
energy. Yeah,
Everything is energy.
everything is energy. So we get
And when
energy from
people
all
can
different
figure that
things.
out, I mean, Nikola Tesla tells you everything is energy. Albert Einstein tells you everything is energy. But for some reason, the average person can't get that in their minds, and therefore, think that with their analytical mind, they're going to overtake the problem. And it doesn't work that way.
No. And again, it comes again about reprogramming the subconscious mind. Once you start doing that and you start being awake, more awake, like really awake and understanding how your body is functioning and what you put in it, how it can help or destroy it. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, we're in a society that people want to make money. So foods, you'll find foods, everything out there. You just
Correct.
have to choose the correct things. And it's a little
Correct.
challenging when you're stay healthy to go somewhere, but you can still do it. Like I go to
No,
restaurants
absolutely.
and you
Absolutely.
can have a grilled chicken, you can have a salad, you can have a vegetable. I mean, there's so many things you can do. You can tell when you go to a restaurant, you can tell them don't use the oil, little this. I mean, they do customize things like that too. In some places, you can tell them no salt, they'll do that for you as well. So restaurants are pretty savvy about those things now. They know that people are changing their eating habits, and a lot of people are going more vegan. I want to do something, and I'll talk to you about that later. I want to do something. I want to eat just raw for a couple of days, just raw foods, raw
Right.
vegetables,
But
things
the
like
idea
that.
is to go really with your blueprint, with your biology. And this is what people need to understand. You go with your biology, you're going there a lot faster than if you go with somebody else's biology or somebody else's diet program. But there's a million diet programs out there. We want to create a lifestyle that we're working with our own biology. That's how we're anti-aging. That's how we can move forward. You can be 90, 95, 100 years old and not be, decrepit. That's the whole idea. My boxing coach was not decrepit at 99 years of age because he could still teach. He had to pass himself off at 74 and he was 25 years older. That's what he had to, so they would let him teach. Otherwise, think about it, that you're 99 years old and you go to teach this. Nobody wants hardly a 74-year-old, much less a 99-year-old, who eventually died, 102, of natural causes. Not, he just went to sleep one day on his own power and didn't get up.
Right.
That's the way it's supposed to happen.
Remember Jack LaLanne?
Yeah, Jack LaLanne.
He died in his 90s.
He made it to 96. And he said, well, what happens? You can't die. I can't die. It'll ruin my reputation.
I remember Jack LaLanne was the first fitness person on TV, right? He was the first one back in the 50s?
Oh, 1940s.
40s he started? Wow.
The 1940s. And listen to
So
this.
I remember
he was a very sickly man. He was very sickly as a young person. So it goes to show you that you can reverse anything. And hey, listen, 2 weeks before he died and caught pneumonia and died, he was still in the gym. He happened to catch pneumonia and it was his time. But that's it. It wasn't like he was inactive 2 weeks before he died. And that's the whole idea.
He looked amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he looked okay. We have what's called the disease of heart disease and cancer and all these other things don't get you. We have the disease of old age, which is the muscles getting weaker. That's why it's important to preserve your strength. I train with my daughter. We train with intensity. I don't, give in to the weights. Don't get me wrong. I'm not there to injure my joints or anything like that. That's not the case. Always with intelligence, you're exercising with intelligence because I don't want to be injured. And I've gotten rid of many of my injuries by, again, through the working of the subconscious mind.
Correct. Well, thank you, Gus. I'm going to close with one of my commercials and we'll be back. I'm not sure what I'm doing next week, but you'll see my post out there for next Tuesday, and we'll probably continue talking about these changes that we're going to do and when we're going to start the program with Gus. So I appreciate everybody on, and thank you, Gus, again for being here.
Thank you, Elisa.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So everybody, I appreciate you being on. And dealing with some so-called sometimes internet struggles that we have. But Gus is an amazing person. He has an incredible program. I know I'm looking forward to doing it myself because I want to reprogram my subconscious mind enough that I don't have those things stuck in my head. Like, I want to build muscle, okay? And I know I can build muscle because you can still see I still have muscle definition. It remembers, your body remembers. But I haven't been working out, even with the Max Pack. I haven't been. My life has been really hectic in the last. It's been hectic for a year. I don't know, but I need to do this as well because I want to reprogram myself in order to be able to get to the next level, and that is losing the extra body fat that I still have, regaining muscle. And so I hope you watch the journey because I'm going to start the program with Gus, and then I will report back to you every week to see how I'm doing. So that's the only way I can do it. I have to be accountable to you guys so we can make this work, right? We have to be accountable to each other. And there's many programs out there. Next week I'll be having some more commercials for different programs and people that want to sponsor and have some ads running on our show. So for further ado, I'm going to put on my commercial with Andrea, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys, for coming in.
Andrea Hammer. I am a certified fitness trainer. I'm a certified health and wellness coach. I am the creator and developer of a brand new amazing fitness tool called the Max Pack. The Max Pack stands for Maximum Power and Core. I was looking for a fitness training tool that was more useful than a dumbbell, and I created this really amazing thing where the movement of the material inside moved every way I moved and made the resistance heavier every direction I went. So I had to grip it harder with my fingers, fist, wrist, arm, forearm, and it really immediately, the minute I picked it up, it engaged all my muscles so succinctly and firmly. Before I even started working out with it, I was like, oh wow, this is so awesome. And then I developed 150, 200 different fun, amazing, kick-ass ways to really work it.
Functional activation of total body with this product. I love it. Very effective, works all the muscles that you don't even think that you are using or engaging.
Amazing. I was engaged in my obliques, and it was just one of the best products I've actually ever used.
In and in, out and out. There you go. It's enough to burn your ass right now.
So everybody, so if you'd like to interested in getting the Max Pack, you can go on to maxpack.com and get your Max Pack 8 pounds, 16 pounds, and 24 pounds. They're awesome. You can sit on the big one when you're doing yoga, and it actually props yourself up so you can sit properly and actually an Indian style and actually be able to do the workout. I've tried it. I did miss, we had an exercise this past Saturday, but Andrea always has open in Coral Springs. She usually does it in the park, outside in nature, and she does some exercises out there. So keep an eye out for any new exercise that she will be doing locally. Again, you can reach her at themaxpack.com, and this will add and complement when you start doing the program with Gus in order to start building those muscles. So just a little tidbit. So anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your week and see you next week. And don't forget, please subscribe to our channel. On YouTube, it's Rebooted Mindset 555, and I changed the Facebook and Instagram. It says Rebooted Mindset as well. So please like and subscribe, and so I can build more community and get my message out to other people. So I hope you do that. Bye.